Greetings and welcome to another impromptu video, this time for Warhammer Underworlds Harrowdeep. Today I'll be going over the brand new FAQs and Erratas for the game, something which we've been waiting for now about 18 months, so at least in terms of FAQs, so it should be an interesting read through and react. Before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe, as well as comment what you thought of this video and the changes. Are you happy with what's happened? Confused? Whatever, let me know. So, let's get on with things. So, this is on the FAQ pages. So this just happened today. We were wondering when this would come in. So I've read some of it, but we'll go through it together now. It is very late for me in terms of what I'd planned to do today. So, first things first, Vanguard is gone. They've deleted Vanguard. So I meant to cover this in another video or whatever, but Games Workshop has moved Warhammer Underworlds to 6 monthly seasons. So a season will last 6 months, and you will get a core set every 6 months, as they previewed in the roadmap. And a season is now a warband, well, a core set and 2 warband expansions and a rivals deck. So you're going to get 4 warbands a season. And obviously, I thought they were going to continue Vanguard. I actually liked Vanguard format. It seemed fun, but first things first, Vanguard is dead. So I guess they were just going to delete that with Rivals. I won't be going through Arena Mortis because who plays Arena Mortis format? I won't be going through Relic as well because I've already checked it and it's basically everything from Championship. So, and Harrowdeep. So, it's just a really long doubling up. And then you got Rivals. So let's check Rivals format first, because that's probably the most not interesting, you'll see. So the biggest change for Rivals is you now can use any deck with some interesting exceptions. So let me zoom in. So you have to have 12 faction objectives and 20 power cards from faction decks. Also, they removed the 6 surge limit for of course, man trappers, because they have 8. They have 8 surges, and there's no Forsaken or restricted list. So, there's no Forsaken. No, there's no Forsaken or restricted list. So, play the overpowered warbands. Then it shows you what boards are legal. The biggest thing here is the change of best of 3. So now, before you just always rolled off. So the person who gets to decide the board in the first game, it automatically switches to the other player in the next game, and in the third game you roll off again. So I like this. I was pushing for this for a while, so it's good to see them finally change their minds on this. That's a nice change. Okay, so we've done Rivals. Rivals is out of the way. Rivals is out of the way. So let's look at Championship. Don't look at the tabs. So yeah, there's no new restricted cards or Forsaken lists. It's just, this is the confusing thing for me. I thought they were going to hit like 3 to 5 cards at least. Like you got Savage, Soldier, like, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there's a few cards they could hit, not even from Arena Mortis too, like just Diachasm cards. So it's really strange they haven't added anything new to the restricted or Forsaken list. Very strange. The change to Alliance. An Alliance event, each player can include up to 3 restricted cards across their objectives and power cards. Have they changed? Yeah, I guess I don't understand why they've added that. Okay. And then it just shows you basically all of Beastgrave is rotated out. So unfortunate if you were unable to play with anything from basically half of the season onwards, because you were now unable to use it. And it just shows you what legal boards and stuff are, so it's fine. It's all good. Good clarifications. Just, as I said, the new best of 3 rule. But the weird thing is just, no new Forsaken and restricted cards. Thought we'd get some more. Oh, and as a quick edit, as someone has just pointed out to me, Mischievous Spirit has been rotated out. I guess that's supposed to be Daylight Robbery, because that's in the Essentials card pack. So for now, Daylight's Robbery is completely legal to run unrestricted. But just a funny thing someone pointed out to me. Clearly just an error on their part, but yeah. Now, the Errata. This is the fun stuff. Okay. So the biggest thing is fighter traits. Everyone has now got Flying and or Beast. So this is important for the Ghost Warband. So Thorns of the Briar Queen, Lady Harrow's Mournflight. They have the Flying rule instead of Intangible. So Flying is when you move, you ignore lethal and blocked and occupied hexes, but you must end in an empty hex. But you can now be pushed into lethal hexes and take damage, which is great if they only implemented this in Dire Chasm when it was desperately needed. So now lethal hexes are pretty much gone. It's kind of a confusing change because it's too little too late, but it's nice to see anyway because there are some boards with inbuilt lethals, but this is the biggest thing you need to take away. And this applies to anything with flying, so including Drax Skewer, the Bat Squig, you know, anything like that. They've also clarified what Grand Alliance stuff are from like what warbands, which I won't go through because it's pretty obvious. Then Chaos warbands have got Chaos keywords, so the only ones who don't are Kagra's Ravagers and the Godsworn Hunt because they're Chaos Universal, Chaos Undivided, sorry. Now, there are some fighter changes. So the interesting thing, let's zoom in again. Zooming in. So the death beat has been changed. Oops. So before, it would be after an opponent's power step, you can push one fighter, one hex towards the closest enemy fighter. Now it's just, you can push one or two friendly fighters, but they have to be in your territory. Now, this is technically a nerf because now you can't do it while in the opponent's territory and kind of stops the effect of Drepper going, haha, I'm just going to push myself forever. The thing is, though, now you can push up to 2 from the start in your own territory. So if your opponent is coming to you, they are now in a worse position because now you can always push 2 friendly fighters up to 1 hex each. But even then, early game, what I was using, yeah, sure, like constantly pushing the Patrician was insane. But when you can just double push, like the problem I had is like I would be leaving friendly fighters behind, stuck in my territory. This allows me to move up faster into enemy territory. So it is a nerf, but the way I would compare it as a nerf is it's going, the original when it was written, S tier effect is now gone to an A tier effect. So it's still really good. It's just been nerfed slightly. Kagra's now inspire after 2 or more desecration tokens are on the battlefield. That's fine. I mean, if only you can't just suddenly flip the objectives to nullify their inspire condition. That would be terrible. Thorns of the Valkyrie Varklav has been changed again. So now you push all friendly chain rats up to 2 hexes towards the nearest enemy fighter, and it can only make this once per round. So it basically stops you pushing your chain rasps everywhere, but you know, you always have to go closer to the opponent, so it messes up hold objectives, even though hold objectives are in a rough spot at the moment. This is one I'm not a fan of. Godsworn Hunt, change the inspire condition on each card to read, and an upgrade other than an illusion is given to this fighter. So firstly, the no fun police are here, and secondly, I'm going to spoil it, Ripper Snarlfang, who inspires by having 3 or more upgrades, does not have this rule as well. So why? I'm like, of course this had the potential to be broken. I get that, but at least let us experiment with it. This is really kind of jumping the gun, and obviously you haven't done the same for Ripper. So is it because Ripper is more balanced? Like you kind of have to either let us play with it or hit both. You can't just hit one. It's like someone was irrationally afraid of the Godsworn Hunt. I mean, I was looking forward to that crazy, stupid Godsworn Hunt fun deck. Give them the time to shine. But whatever, it is what it is. Universal Gambit, they finally fixed bitter memories. So this just had reaction. So in the way we ruled it, we could either react to everything because it just said reaction, or react to nothing. So the way they finally fixed it is by removing the keyword, removing the word reaction, which is good. Even though this card is no longer legal, I give them props for at least, well, fixing it, even though it took them 18 months. That's the erratas. So let's go to the designer's commentary. Now this is very long, because, you know, we had a lot of questions on primacy. There are 2 pages on primacy. I don't really want to go through it all because, like, there's just so much on primacy. All these primacy cards, which is good. They've clarified it. So I'm not like going, oh, look how much we have to read. It's just, there's a lot of primacy stuff, just saying. So the important things to read from here is that they've clarified when you exactly score primacy. So the 3 conditions for primacy are, where is it? The primacy token allocation is rolled after any reactions to the end of the activation before scoring or surge objectives. So it basically clarifies when we actually gain primacy, because that was the biggest question people had, where like there were entire tournaments where TOs didn't know, and it was just like they'd either come to an agreement by talking with each other or we're just making spot judgments. So that's a really good thing. I'll cover it when we get to inspiring. I don't think they actually bring it up, but yeah, for primacy is now after reactions but before scoring surge objectives. So that's a really good clarification because we needed that. And then you've got all of these primacy FAQs. Like, I would just advise to go through them slowly and read them in your own time because there's a lot. And if I read them all, this will be like an hour-long video. So, other FAQs. So I guess they're skipping it. So I'll go through this now. So inspiring has been massively nerfed in terms of you still inspire once you meet your condition, but you only inspire at the next inspire step. So once again, this is another video I meant to do, and I might do one now. The FAQs come out and they haven't clarified anything. But basically, there's only 2 inspire steps. I think it's after an activation and after the power step, or something, or like before the power step. Let me just pause the video and read my rule book. Yeah, so the inspire steps are after that reaction step of an activation and after the reaction step of a power step. Now, while you may go, oh, that's not a big issue, John, it is actually a big problem for warbands that inspire outside of that. So biggest ones are warbands that inspire at the start of an activation because, well, you know, they don't inspire at all till after that. But more importantly, warbands that inspire at the start or end of activation, or end of action phases. So the biggest losers here are, the Crimson Court and Elethane Soul Raid, who inspire at the end of an action phase or at the start. So it's just weird, right? All they have to do is add more inspire steps. So you add inspire step at the end of the action phase and at the start of an activation. But it seems the intention here is you only inspire at 2 points, which is a nerf to a lot of the warbands in the game. And it doesn't make them unplayable, but it's like, you've inspired, then you get killed before you inspire. So the big stuff is like, say you get 1 wound, go into inspired, you go from 4 to 5. You lose priority, your opponent charges you, hits you for 4 damage, you now die, but you should have survived because you should have been inspired, but you don't inspire until the next inspire step. So it's just a thing. So outside of inspiring, so can I fully use abilities that cannot fully resolve? For example, if I cannot go on guard, can I make the guard action? And the answer is no. And it's stuff like Crown of the Dead. If it says I need to draw 2 cards but I only have 1, can I use it? No. So that's a hard clarification which totally will not be overruled in niche circumstances later on. So this is more just clarifying what I can and cannot do. Here we go. Here's another big thing that people fail to understand. Cleave, knockback, and ensnare are not modifiers, they're keywords. So they're just keywords, not modifiers, so they can apply to stuff that says they can't be modified. It's routinely asked, but yeah. So this is the best question. Like, look, Games Workshop reads every question that's asked of them, right? I feel they put these in just to unintentionally throw shade at the community. So, question: are cards that have the same name but in different languages counted as the same card for deck building purposes, e.g. Great Strength and Force Accrue? Yes. Now, the reason I find this funny is because the people abusing this, like, really? You are trying to abuse this? And it's like on the same level of FAQ where someone asked, can Gartok be driven back? Can Gartok be pushed? And the answer is no, because even though Gartok's fighter card specifically says he cannot be pushed. So I'm not laughing at Games Workshop, I'm just laughing at whoever asked this, because it's like, can I cheat? No. Oh, damn it. What a shame. But anyway, that's just a funny interaction. All right. What's the difference between a fighter having a guard token and being on guard? A fighter with 1 or more guard tokens is on guard as defined by the glossary, but there are other ways for a fighter to be on guard, such as blah, blah, blah. When you instruct a fighter to put on guard, a fighter goes on cards. Oh, some older... Oh, this is for Shade Spiral and Relic. It basically says if someone tells you to go on guard, you gain a guard token. Okay. Oh, okay. Our range, dice, damage, move, and defense and wounds are the same things as range as other characteristics. And the answer is, when the term is capitalized, yes. I can't see this being confusing. Okay. Okay, what happens if something negates the damage of attack is considered to have failed with the exception of Wall of Force, as it does not deal damage, okay? Because Wall of Force never does any damage. So that's a nice clarification, because otherwise it will always fail. If my fighter makes a Scything attack action, must they target all adjacent enemy fighters? Yes. Okay, I guess if you didn't want to attack them. Okay. That's actually, that's a interesting change to Scything. Only for niche cases, but something people need to remember. Are magic dice considered to be an attack dice when you make a spell attack action? No. Okay, that's just for cards that say can they modify attack dice. Anything else? Oh no. For the following cards, if you draw them after meeting the condition, you can score them in the next surge step. These are the only exceptions to the norm. Okay, that's just updating the wording. Okay, so just clarifying scoring times for old cards. Warband FAQ. This is the weirdest one. So, I don't think they've done this for Eyes of the Nine, but we'll see. So, this is for Errata Sorry. Does the Spine Fin begin the game out of action if you choose it not to set up? Yes, even though it says this fighter is never out of action. So, already overriding the fire card. Can a player pick the first option on a Spine Fin reaction if there are no friendly show tokens on the battlefield? Yes. So also going against what the card says. So if you're playing it by the card, you've been wrong twice. And then if two fighters from Errata Sorry have one or more wound counters and the Spine Fin is dealt damage that would take it out of action, do the Worm Spat Inspire? Yes. Which is also against how the rules are written. So this is a very confusing bunch of FAQs. And I feel it's kind of like a nerf in a way to Errata Sorry in terms of matchup denial, because you could stop Warband Inspiring. But I don't think the Spine Fin's reaction window blocks any reaction window, but the fact you can make it when you can't do it is so strange. Yeah, just really odd bunch of FAQs. And then for the discard effects, if you cannot discard the required number of cards, you must pick a different option. And the upgrades, okay, it's just describing the discard effect. So the discard cards are slightly better, but not worth running in my opinion. So there's an earlier FAQ saying if you can't complete the instructions of a card or option, you can't do it. So Bestial Transformation, can a fighter with no upgrades be chosen for this gambit? And its answer is yes, but the card says discard all upgrades. So going against the written of the card, which is fine, it's contradicting itself. So if a friendly Mad Mod takes a leader out of action, can they claim the primacy action twice in a row? Once for killing an enemy leader and once for primal surge reaction, and therefore score swelling pride of... Yes. Because these are two simultaneous abilities. Okay, that's a buff for the Mad Mob. So, okay, that's fine. Kagra's Ravagers. Do flipping in objective cards like with Symbiote's Call counts towards their Inspire condition? No. This is... Who asked this? You're not desecrating, you're just flipping them. Who asked this question? Okay. Morgways Blade Cavern. If Chemist has present blow, it's banned. It doesn't matter. So... Starblood Stalker. Can I score the second condition of this objective if there are 0 objective tokens in enemy territory? No. Did David Smee ask this question? Because he asked the same thing about, like, can I score... It's... I think it's not bold conquest, it's something like if you control all objectives in enemy territory for free glory, if there's no objectives, do I get free glory because 0 is still a number? It's like, who is that? David Sui again? Starblood Stalkers Gambits. Invisible Hunters, when you move them, the definitely autopilot counts as a surviving fighter whilst not on the board for the purpose of scoring objectives like ahead of the hunt. No. So if you're a surviving fighter, you have to be on the battlefield. This is interesting. I guess that's for the Spine Fin. Also the Blue Horror and the Brimstone. So interesting. Scarce Wild Hunt. Nothing else I think has changed. If Seized Weapon takes an enemy fighter action, the end phase can objectives start defending the Hearth be scored if they're in hand. No. So they're changing that because before you could. So change their mind. So this is more about Inspire steps. So you meet the condition but Inspire at the next Inspire step. The same here for the Thorns of the Briar Queen. So once again, doubling down on the Inspire stuff I talked about. And then this is, can I push up to 0 hexes? Oh, let's see what this is. Oh my god, does the Blue Horror Brimstone begin the game out of action? Yes. do they count as being as 2 fighters out of action at the start of the game? No, just 1. Okay, I guess that's the terminology they're going with, which is fine. And then toxic gases, if you cannot be pushed, the fighter takes 1 damage instead. So basically doubling down on you can only choose the playable option of a card if it gives you multiple choices. Oh wow. Frenzy, does that extra dice apply to a Scything attack made during their charge? Yes. This is more about timing. I won't really go off the warbands you can't buy anymore, guys. And then, let's see, universal objectives. Yeah, there's just universal cards. Nothing really, I think we've covered all the big stuff. Oh, here we go. This is actually an important one. So, if a member of the Chosen Axes warband has the Rampaging Killer upgrade and makes a Scything attack, misses an enemy fighter and decides to play Oathsworn to retry the attack, what happens? If the final attack action of a Scything action... If the final attack action of the Scything attack action is the first attack action to fail in that super action, the super action is complete and the Chosen Axes fighter is dealt 2 damage before Oathsworn can be used. If the fighter survives that damage and the player uses Oathsworn to have that fighter make another Scything attack, the Chosen fighter is again dealt 2 damage once that fresh super action is complete. If an attack action other than the final attack action from the Scything super action fails, when the Oathsworn reaction is used, the Chosen fighter makes a new Scything attack action, and the original Scything attack action is on hold. See the rulebook. Once the attack made using Oathsworn has been resolved, the Chosen axes do 2 damage. Then the original Scything attack action continues. Once that's been resolved, the Chosen fighter takes 2 damage. So the key thing here is, if you react mid or end chain of a Scything attack, you make another full Scything attack, even if it's against 1 attack action, which is huge. So, oh my gosh. So, like, if you can use Mighty Swing and have the ability to attack again after failing, wow. Wow. That's actually, wow. And I think we've covered everything. Designer's commentary. No, that's all the changes. So, I'm not going to check Arena more. Leave me alone. No. Okay, so big changes here. Board placement and a best of 3. If the first person decides in the second game, it swaps and then you roll off. Inspire steps. So you inspire only at the 2 inspire steps given, which really hurts warbands that inspire outside of those timings that you need to remember. And then the Godsworn Hunt aren't allowed to have any fun. But there's a few minor changes, and the most important thing is primacy has been clarified, which is really good. So, and there are no new Forsaken and Restricted cards, which is also interesting. But yeah, overall, nice. I like the clarifications. There's some confusing choices, to be sure. There's a lot of, like you can see they've decided on terminology for what counts as out of action and on the battlefield. So in terms of stuff like the spine fin and the horrors, but it's good. Finally got clarifications. Vanguard is dead. Championship is fine. It really looks like Relic is getting Rivals format is getting all the attention, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, these are good clarifications. Nothing bad. Still, like, best question is the guy who asked, "Can I use the same card if it's in a different language?" Like, as I said, it's like, can I cheat, please? No. It's like, so yeah, it's a good FAQ. Nothing too bad. But if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and comment. And remember, let me know what you thought of the changes. Is there anything missed outside of the Inspire steps? Like, what do you think needs to be answered desperately? Apart from, obviously, Ripper should have the same nerfed effect as the Godsworn Hunt. But yeah, I think it's a really good FAQ overall. Nice, it's suddenly just all dropped now, but yeah, I'm all for it. And just it's a shame Rivals is actually gone, because I liked Rivals. But yeah, nice clear clarifications. We finally know how primacy works, and good FAQ. Just, would it be nice to have some more restricted and Forsaken cards? So until next time, remember, you can always roll crits, even in different languages.